This is the only structure for coaching businesses I've found that truly gives you freedom of time and money. There's almost always a sacrifice with every model. One-on-one takes up all your time. Cohort groups only allow you to bring on so many people. This is the only balanced model that buys you freedom of time but also pays you well. I'm Chris. I built a 7-figure coaching business with a super small team. We run lean because this system allows us to. I don't have to hire a bunch of other coaches to coach my clients, and then my clients get mad because they don't get my attention. There are 5 parts to this, and they all piggyback off of each other. Instead of relying on one aspect, there's 5 that work together that make up for each other's flaws. This works as an ecosystem versus just singular dependent model. The first part, the foundation, is a course. Do you ever do one-on-ones and you catch yourself repeating the same thing over and over, but just to a different student each time? Instead of showing up individually to teach simple concepts that you know you're gonna have to tell everyone, you should record it once as best as you can, upload it to a course area, give that to them. Now you're not wasting your energy doing the same thing over and over, but at the same time, this builds an asset for you and for your student. If you show up once a week for an hour, in that hour, you have to cram a lot of information. 80% of it goes in one ear and out the other. They can't retain all the information being shoved down their throat at once. But if you gave them the asset of all the information, they can watch it at their own pace. Not only that, they can re-watch it until it actually sinks in and makes sense to them. It's an asset to you because there's no limits on how many people you can hand that course out to. It's a digital product. You don't have a stock amount. You can just keep sending them out. It also works well because if your students have a question, you can refer them to a certain lesson. It's almost like you can also use it as a dictionary. You don't read an entire dictionary. You don't go through all of it and reading every single word. You just find out if you have a problem with a word you need to define, you go to the right page and you find it. So the course can work as giving them all the information, but it can also be used as a Rolodex of information they can keep going back to. If Module 3, Lesson 7, you feel like you can record and explain better, you can just replace that one video instead of redoing everything. If you learn a new concept, you can just plug the lesson in and add it to the course. It's almost like it's the super asset that just keeps becoming more powerful and upgrading. I know some of you guys are gonna think that a course doesn't work good for my niche or my offer. It truly works for every offer. You don't have to be 100% reliant on it to give your students everything they need, but it can at least alleviate a percentage of the work that you need to do. Teaching guitar could be 50% reliant on a course. Life coaching could be 10% reliant on a course. But regardless, it's taking that much more off of your plate. As I explain all the other parts, you also have to remember that the biggest thing your clients hire you for is to get them a certain outcome or transformation for their life. They're not paying you for the course or your time, none of that. They want the transformation. They just need the course, your time, in order to get there. When you call an Uber, it's not because you and your buddies are sitting around like, oh man, I would love to ride an Uber XL right now. You only order one because you need to get to a destination. The second part is having group coaching calls. This is way more time efficient for you and your clients. If you have students that are watching your course, they're going through the same material, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna have very similar questions to each other. Instead of answering them one at a time, you can answer the same question for all of them as a group. Plus it saves your time because now it doesn't matter if you have 1 student or you have 28 students. You can still just show up for one call once, twice, 3 times a week and answer everything for everybody at once. Many times there will be 7 hands in the air and you'll answer a question for the first person and 4 hands might go down and be like, oh yeah, that was my question I was gonna ask. So it saves you time and them time. And at times, students will ask questions that pertain to other students, but the other student was so focused on a different problem that they didn't think about asking about this problem. So it's helpful when you put them all in a bunch because then they're also in an environment of people who are all on the same journey. For humans, us being in tribes is very important since the dawn of the caveman days. Putting your students in the right environment will increase the likelihood of their transformation because you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you hung out with 5 heroin addicts, you're likely to be the 6th. If you hung out with 5 millionaires, you're likely to be the 6th. They also get to see different perspectives and different scenarios based on the other client's specific situations. If you're a fitness coach, one student might want to lose 10 pounds, the other one might want to lose 40 pounds. Now both of them can see each other's scenarios. You're a business coach who helps musicians and physical therapists. They can now see each other's scenarios. The third part is one-on-one. Because individual attention is still important, it just doesn't need to be used for everything. The fundamental lessons that you have to say to everyone, you shouldn't be spending your time individually, one-on-one, just saying those things. If you teach guitar, you shouldn't sit with each student saying, this is how you play a C major chord. That's something you can do in a course. The one-on-one should be specialized for that individual person's personal needs. If they're playing the saxophone and they're not blowing hard enough, or their lips are looking all weird because the technique is off, that's where you would adjust those specific problems. What I like to do is I know where my client is at and the result they want to get to, and I know every step in between. Some steps are going to be more difficult than others, so I find the places I know most of them are going to struggle, and I place a one-on-one there. When you limit your individual time, your students show up better, they ask better questions because they know how limited it is, and then your time becomes more valuable. Fourth part is having some sort of community where you pull all your students into. The really cool part about this is it alleviates a lot of the teaching that you have to do yourself. Your students end up being like these little soldiers that paid you, but also help you. At one point, you're gonna have advanced students that have watched your whole course, been through your group coaching calls, been through your one-on-ones. They're more advanced. Let's say you have a new student that starts today. Maybe they have their hand up and they have a simple question. Your advanced student can be like, I saw this in the course, here is the answer. Now that just takes more pressure off of you to have to keep repeating yourself over and over, and now you have these soldiers working for you. They can also share wins in the community area, and the other students can see and become inspired. If they're trying to figure out how to do something that is difficult they haven't done before, it can be overwhelming and sometimes be demotivating if they don't see results. When they see other people that look like them achieving that thing, it inspires them to continue down the process. It's also your testimonial collector. When someone shares a win, you can screenshot it, take that, put on your social media, etc. And it allows them to network, which is extremely valuable. I'll just tell you a story about one of my clients. He was in my community. Him being a part of my community, he now hired his right-hand man in business. He now hired one of my other clients as his right-hand man in business, and he was able to grow to a certain level because he had this right-hand man. He's also hired another sales coach from that circle. And this same client has brought me at least $80,000 worth of revenue because he keeps referring people. The ability to network is extremely powerful. If you can build a community like that for your students, it'll benefit them, but it'll benefit you too. Imagine too, your students are all learning and trying to figure these things out that you're trying to teach them. They'll do their own research, they'll find cool new tools, and they'll share them in the community, and then you as the business owner gets to learn things you didn't. The fifth part is giving them messenger support. When you do one-on-ones and you meet up weekly, that's literally 6 days that goes by between times that you get to meet with your student. After your one-on-one lesson, they might go home and a question pops up in their head, and they're like, I'll wait till next week when I see them and I'll ask them the question. Next week rolls around, they've completely forgotten the question because they moved on to the next problem, and that just hinders their growth. So that's 6 days in between that they don't get support from you. If you give them messenger access, you can answer a lot of questions quickly for them so that they can keep growing and moving forward, but it also eliminates a lot of unnecessary one-on-ones. Do your clients ever come to you and they really just have 1 or 2 really important questions and the rest are just fillers? That's what having messenger support completely eliminates. You answered the couple of important questions, then you don't have to meet up. There are also tools now where they can send you a video. Let's just say it's a video of them performing the saxophone. You can send a play-by-play of you watching that video on screen, pausing and playing and pointing out all the problems. Send that video back to them. Now they can keep rewatching that video until they fix all those problems. Again, if they show up with you live and they ask a question, you might overload them with information. They're gonna go home, they're gonna forget what you said. But if you send them a video, they can now just keep rewatching it until they fix the problem. So it's a better way to fix the issues if they're able to revisit the things that you're pointing out. These 5 things I just explained to you all work well when they work together. Now the balance is gonna be different in every offer. Teaching music might be more course dependent. Teaching fitness might be more group dependent. Teaching life coaching might be more individual one-on-one. But regardless of what the offer is, they can utilize each element. Even if the course only alleviates 20% of the work that you do, that's still 20%. If your offer can benefit from the course alleviating 80%, you are now doing very little one-on-ones in group. No matter the offer, this structure can help your clients quite a bit more, and it's going to buy back a lot more of your time. But the important part is that they all work together as an ecosystem, because each one of them by themselves, they have their own flaws. If you give them a course, there's no support. If you do group coaching, there's no individual attention. If you do one-on-ones, that's going to take up all your time. But if you plug them all together, it becomes this powerful five-fecta. Giving your clients a system like this gives them more support. If they have more support, they get the result they want faster. If they get the result they want faster, you can charge more. Because again, you want to price around how much it impacts their life when they get a transformation. It's not for the course, group, one-on-ones, none of that. You're not selling that part. You're selling the transformation. The system just helps them get to the transformation easier. So this means you can charge more, and it raises your capacity. Charging more plus higher capacity equals a leaner business that's more profitable. Now your money isn't being spent on 5 different coaches that you have to hire to teach for you. You can just put a system in place and keep it in your pocket. If this boggled some of your brain cells and you want to implement something like this, I'm gonna leave a link in the description so that you can book a call and I can help you completely flesh this entire business model out. It's the same ones I still use today. It's the same ones I teach every single one of my clients. This is the reason why I don't have to have this massive, complicated team. Don't forget to hit subscribe right now on this channel if this was helpful for you. And if you want even more secret sauce about how to make money online as a business coach, click on this video. See you in the next one.